President Biden announced his plan to withdraw all troops from Afghanistan by September 11, which is the same day in 2001 of the terror attacks that sparked the war on terrorism. With the country slowly opening back up, we're starting to see more and more people at restaurants, shopping centers, and schools, and soon to follow entertainment venues and events, including the greatest homecoming on earth. President Biden may have several possible solutions to gun control to prevent mass shootings. Last week, Governor Cooper introduced Executive Order 195, which will ease COVID-19 restrictions in North Carolina. President Biden announced his plan to withdraw all troops from Afghanistan by September 11, which is the same day in 2001 of the terror attacks that sparked the war on terrorism. With this war lasting almost over 20 years, President Biden said that he would be the fourth sitting president to oversee this war, and he doesn't want to pass responsibility to a fifth. Although it's unclear if President Biden plans to withdraw all troops from Afghanistan specifically, or all Middle Eastern countries, I spoke with Air Force Reserve Airman Senior Airman Caleb Goldman and Senior Airman Alicia Blanco for their thoughts on troops leaving Afghanistan.
We have just spent way too much time, energy, resources, and countless troops have gone over there. And at the end of the day, I feel like we got to know when to call it quits. And as much as I wish I could say that we were successful with it, I just feel like it was the right thing to do. Time to bring people home and take care of this country first.
To give some perspective, over 2,200 troops have been killed, 20,000 wounded, and over $1 trillion have been spent fighting this war. Many people believe that the U.S. has spent too much time pursuing this war and have nothing to show for it. With racism, violence, and police shootings in recent years, Senior Airman Blanco believes that the U.S. should redirect its energy.
It's time for us to stop interjecting overseas and bring our troops home, because our country is facing enough domestic turmoil on its own.
President Biden says that the transition for withdrawing troops will be smooth and not rushed, and that the U.S. will continue to monitor Afghanistan to make sure no levels of terrorism occur. With the country slowly opening back up, we're starting to see more and more people at restaurants, shopping centers, and schools, and soon to follow entertainment venues and events, including the greatest homecoming on earth. Last year, homecoming was canceled due to the pandemic, but with the state slowly opening and COVID numbers trending down, students and alumni are hopeful that they'll be able to safely celebrate homecoming this fall. Some places around the country are taking extra safety precautions while opening up. For example, the Miami Heat will start their vaccine-only section in their arena, and the state of Hawaii is considering vaccine-only traveling. The strategy is to encourage people to get vaccinated. If North Carolina A&T enforce some kind of vaccine-only policy, would that encourage students and alumni to get vaccinated? I spoke to alum Simone Joyner to get her thoughts about this.
Well, for me personally, I probably wouldn't be getting the vaccine at all. GHO would be a no-go. My reasoning being, I don't know. I just don't trust it. I would go into a whole rant about, the whole Tuskegee experiment, that sort of thing. Not only that, but I think because it was so rushed into grabbing the vaccine, hurry, we need to grab something, we need to do this, we need to do that, or whatever. And I've also heard of some people getting sick from it, and just not feeling well.
Although her mind has not changed about the vaccine, she believes that everyone else will think differently.
But do I think that others will get it just so they can go to GHO? Of course, definitely.
The greatest homecoming on earth is set for the last week of October, and all Aggies will continue to monitor how the pandemic will affect homecoming. President Biden may have several possible solutions to gun control to prevent mass shootings. Last week, President Biden announced his executive order for gun control. 3 out of the 6 parts of the proposal could have an immediate impact on the country. Investments in community violence intervention programs, which will involve reducing gun violence in urban communities, annual reports on firearms tracking to limit illegal guns, and encourage states to adopt red flag laws, which are laws to prevent people in a crisis who are a danger to possess firearms. This executive order is a response to all of the recent mass shootings, such as shootings in Bryan, Texas, Knoxville, Tennessee, and Atlanta, Georgia. With many people on edge about the shootings, including students at North Carolina A&T, I sat down with senior Amber Primus, who is skeptical of the new executive order.
I do commend Joe Biden for cracking down more on getting, I guess, stricter gun laws, but I feel like it's not really going to change anything, honestly.
Although the executive order has been proposed, it still has to be approved to be taken into effect. Last week, Governor Cooper introduced Executive Order 195, which will ease COVID-19 restrictions in North Carolina. Entertainment places, 50% capacity at restaurants, gyms, and retail stores. Also, Executive Order 195 will lift up the modified stay-at-home order, which will allow the public to be open past 10 o'clock p.m. Although the public will be opening back up, social distancing and wearing a mask is still required by everyone. To some, this may be exciting news, but some think otherwise. I spoke to a student who has concerns about Executive Order 195.
On everything opening back up, I think that's a very irresponsible decision on the government. Even though there is a vaccine, the vaccine is not getting around to everybody as quick as possible.
Which is a big concern for her and many other people because the order could ruin the state's progress in containing COVID-19.
Everything opening back up will bite us in the butt in like the long run or like down the line, because people are still sick. We still really don't know the whole thing about COVID-19, even though it has been here like for almost a year. I still think we need to be less than half capacity about everything. So I feel is that we shouldn't be opening back up like this.
Executive Order 195 is set to expire on March 26th.